Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, the rule well and teach well, and salutations to the hopeful elect, desire pushing his truth in all honesty and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Shalom. I'm coming at you with a quick video through the spirit, power, and mercy of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing this be edifying. All right, I'm started Genesis chapter 49, verse 8. Because who will rouse Judah up? All right, Judah being the head tribe of Israel, which are the so-called Negroes. All right, with the whole Carmelo Anthony case. All right, he recently got sentenced to 35 years. All right, 17 and a half years with the possibility of parole. All right, he will have to serve 17, if he, receive parole, but, the max that he got is 35 years. All right, well, you can make the case how it's unfair and all this and, speculate if it was manslaughter or murder. All right, and we understand the double standard between being an Edomite and being an Israelite, being a Jake, a so-called Negro. All right, it can be unfair, when you compare it to, being a white man or a young white boy. All right, how they'll treat it differently. They'll portray it differently in the media. You can spin it and play it a certain way that, a lot of times Jake tend not to do because, for one, this devil controlled the narrative. So, you could put your mug shot. And that's what they did to him. Put his mug shot up there, put the Edomite in the good light and put the black boy or the Jake in the bad light. So, they already have it to a point where, it's like wrestling out of a paper bag, man. That, you got to prove yourself innocent, all right? They say innocent until proven guilty. But for Jake, we're guilty until proven innocent, if we even can do that in the eyes of these people. All right, but we come to a time where Judah is going to rouse up, all right? And these devils, they get on the internet talking all proud, talking about, they don't want a race war and all these, don't want these problems, talking about, how, we'll lose and all these different things. All right, but they don't understand when the collapse happened, all right, which a lot of Jake out here don't have nothing to lose anyway. Really, you Edomites have everything to lose because, for one, y'all so-called call this your country and all these different things. So y'all the ones that have more to lose. A lot of these YNs, a lot of these poor Jakes, they already struggling and in a situation where they don't have nothing and barely getting by. So when the collapse come, because everybody down there a paycheck or two away from being in the doghouse or being homeless, man. So it's something that a lot of you Edomites, especially middle class, y'all not used to this, what's about to come. All right, that's why y'all complain about every damn thing. All right, but we come to a time where Judah going to be roused up. All right, but let me get the scripture. This Genesis chapter 49, verse 8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. So all the tribes, give reverence. And, we understand that Judah is the head tribe. That's why, certain things that, certain curses, a lot of the curses, obtain to, Judah. All right, for the most part. All right, we know that they've been stricken with most of the curses, man. All right, but we gonna praise our brother, Judah. All right, and we know through the head tribe, once they get roused up, hey, all the other tribes gonna follow suit. All right, said that their hands shall be on the neck of thy enemy. So when Judah start, getting roused up and doing what they do, and we speaking on the basis of when shit hit the fan, things going to happen according to prophecy. All right, we're not advocating or, basically, trying to be in the spirit of saying, yeah, egg Jake on, but this is truth. All right, this according to prophecy is going to happen. All right, these Jakes are gonna rouse up. Look what's going on in New York. All right, they snatching Spurs jerseys off people. Like these new Jakes, man. Hey, when that deal go down, man, they gonna get busy, man. All right, and it can be for something for less. It don't even have to be because of injustice in the streets. It can be something for less. All right. Verse 9 says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion. It wasn't as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? Who shall rouse, Judah up? Who shall rouse these Jakes up? Who will rouse Jake up in general? All right, so Judah is a lion's whelp. It says, from the prey, my son, thou art gone up. All right. So just like as it say in NLT, it says Judah, my son, is a young lion that has finished eating its prey. Like a lion, he couched down and lies down. All right. So basically, how a lion will wait for its prey to come by, couch down, rest and wait for the perfect opportunity, or wait for the opportunity to present itself. All right. So who shall rouse him up? All right. And another way to look at this, a lot of times a lion after it ate a meal, they just relax, chill. Even if you see lions in the zoo, they, lounge around, lay around. They don't do too much moving, man. Only, when it's time to hunt and certain things. But who gonna rouse Jake up to get them in that mode, man? All right, what it's gonna take? We understand what it's gonna take. All right, through the spirit, it's gonna take this devil coming down with great wrath on Jake. All right, like how they did the Northern Kingdom, basically Issachar. They sent ice against them. So, hey, they definitely coming for Judah, the so-called Negroes, next, man. All right, they just trying to use, coming at the other tribes, all right, to disguise itself. But they mainly want to come for Judah because they know Judah is the head tribe. So they thinking of it in the aspect of, oh, we keep the head tribe down. It's like, the whole thing about cutting the head off a snake, all right? Well, they think if they cut the head off the head of Israel, then we'll stay in this predicament, which the case is proven by the aspect by, Judah is the main tribe where they push this degeneracy, or mainly through the music on, and you see how it's dispersed throughout the whole nation. The nation of Israel. When I say the nation, I'm talking about the 12 tribes, it trickled down. All right, but now it's to a point where it's trickling into, the youth of the heathen. All right, so it's turning back on them. So now the heathen is receiving the curses. All right, so who gonna rouse Jake up? We already know when this devil come out with great wrath. All right, when this economy completely collapse, the dollar, be obsolete. All right, the grid, possible EMPs, all kind of things. All right, but Judah gonna turn up, and these devils ain't gonna really have nothing to really answer for it for the most part. All right. So let me get Isaiah. All right, it's Isaiah chapter 19, verse 17. It says, "In the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he have determined against it." All right. So, hey, that's ultimately the plan of the Lord, man. And that always happened throughout history. Our people get to a point where they get fed up and they fight. Look at the time of Judas Maccabees, I believe. Look at that time, man. It's time Jake just got fed up because for one, they oppress us. They oppress a man in his heritage, a man even in his own household. All right, so they took everything from us. So they expect for us, to keep on being pleased with pennies, man. You know, which a lot of our people are degenerative and wicked. But hey, man, they throw us all in the same boat, and that's not fair. All right, they expect nobody throw them all the Edomites in the same boat, but pretty much they all guilty by association, or just how they try to make it out for us, the same for them. Just like how majority of they people make up for a lot of things, a lot of wickedness that goes on, so they got to take accountability on that, and they protect them, whether they the PDFs or certain things like that. But Judah gonna be a terror unto Egypt, this place of bondage, because Scripture say that we shall go into Egypt again, but by the way of ship, so we went into bondage, captivity again. But hey, these Jakes today gonna be a terror unto the land, man. They know this, man. And Esau can be proud as hell as he want to, talking about, oh, they don't want it with us and this and that. All right, we're gonna see, man, because these YNs, man, hey, they evasive, man. Hey, you see how they be doing when they be robbing these pawn shops and jewelry stores, man. They come in numbers, man. You ain't gonna have enough bullets for all these Jakes, man. All right, cause they got guns too. All right, and a lot of you Edomites ain't on one accord like you think you are, man. All right, but we gonna see, man. All right, but that's all I have. Lord willing, this is edifying. With that being said, shalom.